Hey, beautiful mama. Welcome to the Radiant Mom Rising podcast, where we believe you were never meant to just survive. You were born to shine. I'm your host, Mary Dibble, life coach, mom of three, and your biggest cheerleader in creating a life and business you love. Each week, we dive into real conversations about mindset, motherhood, healing, and purpose, helping you break free from overwhelm, rediscover your worth, and rise into the confident, radiant woman you were meant to be. Because when moms rise, the world rises with us. So grab your coffee, take a deep breath, and let's get ready to rise together. Hello, mamas, and welcome back. Thanks so much for joining us today. I am here with Erin. Erin, I am so grateful that we got to connected. I mean, we recently met here through a networking event, and here we are meeting and having this conversation today. So I'm very excited to get into this. Erin, how about we take a moment, if you will, just introduce yourself to everyone and tell us a little bit about what you do.
Okay, my name is Erin Thomas. I am a clinical hypnotherapist, which is one of the tools of the trade under that umbrella of life coach. I have enough certificates to paper the wall of different techniques and things that have helped hundreds of people with whatever situation they're in. Honestly, you come to me and you've got a situation and I help you look at it from a different angle and see how we can attack it and pull it apart and put it back together so it works better.
Absolutely. And I love that. And I would love to get into your story too. Tell us a little bit about your own journey and experiences that's led you to be able to help people in this way.
Hard to believe that. Yes, I am going to be 68 on my birthday.
Love it.
And you and I talked a little bit
Yeah.
about off camera about how, as of 12 hours ago, I have my life just turned around. I have to start over again. I have to stop denying the fact that I don't know if I can say it, but it was a crap show last year, 2025. And because it was the end of a cycle, cosmically speaking, and we're starting this brand new cycle, it went out with a bang and it took everything of me with it except my intelligence. I'm talking about physical things, right? Took all my money, took all my businesses, took everything. I am starting over. And if I can use my story to help somebody else, like, oh my God, I got to do this again. I'm telling you, sweethearts, I am probably the sixth time into starting over in my 68 years. And instead of dwelling on what a sad situation that is, I choose to use it as a learning experience and help other people to say, it's just stuff. Everything I've gone through has brought me up to today. And I have more smarts today than I did maybe 4 starting over ago. And so I know I can do this, but I also have a fantastic support system in my family. I raised my sons right.
Yeah.
My husband, my ex-husband wasn't that great of an example so they're getting their how to be a man in a family, how to take care of your mom from me. And it's humbling because Drew just hit me with this yesterday. That's my second son. And he lives closest and he's got my grandson, which is my heart. So, but he sat me down and he said, Mom, we're not doing this anymore. You're going to come and live with us. And that took me by surprise because I've dug my heels into this and I've got to start my business over again. I got to get my clients again. I got to teach classes. I've got to do all these things. I still can do all those things, but he's taken the stress off of surviving. When I first came, one of the start overs that I did happened actually 5 years ago, almost to the day.
Oh, wow.
He had come with his family from Abu Dhabi over here. His contract had ended and he started a job here in Greenville, South Carolina, and up in Canada, whereas I have dual citizenship. So I was living up there. And he said, Mom, why don't you just come down here? They wouldn't let me work up there. They shuttered the windows on the place and just shut down Canada. And I was not able to work because they weren't used to this online stuff. So it was one-on-one a lot of the times with my clients, but especially with my music students. I love to teach music. I was a musician in the Marine Corps, so I teach now. So all of that was gone. And Drew and Lynn, I have got the best daughter-in-law in the world.
Oh.
They both said, come down here, live with us. And this is before the grandbaby. Live with us. We got an extra bedroom. He said, hang out a shingle, start again like you always do, but don't worry about food and rent and all that. So, I sold everything, put everything in a small trailer and moved down here with him. And now fast forward exactly 5 years. And he said, again, Ma, just come on, you need a restart. You need a redo.
Yeah.
And we already know that we have great communication skills. And I honor the fact that when I'm in Lynn's house, she is the matriarch of that family. So that's her house and her cave. So I know for the next maybe 6 months to a year, while I'm getting my finances back together and my business rolling, that I'm in her house and I'm going to help where I can in her house. I understand my role in her house. But again, she also understands that we're good friends and I have free reign with that grandbaby. I will be able to help out in their house where I can as I'm getting my life together. And it's just a really symbiotic relationship while I get my feet back under me. So if anybody has questions like, how am I ever going to do this, Miss Erin? Then, I want to share my phone number. I want them to call. There's all kinds of things we can do. I can give 15, 20-minute introductory call. Like, what do they call it?
The coffee chats, like the consultation calls,
Consultation. Yeah, give
yes.
me a give me a
Consult.
call. Give me a
Yep,
call.
yep.
There's got to be something I can do for you today that makes your life better.
Yeah,
Even if it's a little bitty thing for the rest of the time that we have together.
yeah. And we know this on this journey that there's nothing like creating a support system, whether it is
Yeah.
family or even like I've had strangers be so supportive of me in ways that I never thought possible. So
Yes.
it is so important to allow yourself to surround yourself with those kind of people because in times like this, you just don't even know like connections and meetings and having these conversations. This is what I love about this podcast because I enjoy the realness of it. Like, no one here is sitting here like, oh, it's just easy to create this and do this and blah blah blah. It's like
It's not
it's
effing easy.
no, it's not. But it's okay. But you know what?
It
At the same
takes a
time,
village to raise the
exactly.
woman too.
Yes, it does. Exactly. We are forgotten about. Everyone sometimes always focuses like on the babies, and it's like, well, what about the moms? The moms need a lot more support because we're going through so much in so many different areas of our lives because we're the ones who have to. Who even said that we have to carry it all? But you know what? I'm at the point where it's
And I think this is important because also as women, it's like, no, we don't want to be a burden. We got this. We got
no.
this, right? I was humbled by my son for one thing, but then it also ran in the back of my mind something that somebody very intelligent taught me. When somebody offers a blessing,
Mhm.
take it.
Receive it.
It's
Yes. Yeah.
their gift to themselves
Hmm.
to finally be able to either pass something on, but they
Hmm.
finally have something in their life that is worth something to them that they can
Yeah.
give to somebody else.
Yeah.
Allow them the blessing.
Yep.
Simply say, oh man, thank you. That's a big help. In the
Yeah.
back of your mind, you're saying, no, I got this. This would be better spent
Yeah.
on somebody else. No,
Yeah.
in this moment, which is all we have is this moment,
Hmm.
allow the gift to happen, take it, and
Yep.
then know that you're going to pass it on when you're in a place where
Yes.
you're stable, that
Hmm.
you can pass it on. And that's what we're supposed to do as women.
Yeah.
The divine feminine, baby.
Yes, it is. I'm telling you, the more you give to, the more you receive. And this is what I don't want people to think about too. Is we don't realize how much every little thing that's happening is all in alignment and it's all working out for you. So the fact that your son was able to show up right now and offer this for you, that's God. That's still working it out. That this is
Yes, it
just the
is.
way it's unfolding. And thank you for like being open to being like, absolutely, I'm going to receive this. This is my next part. And it's beautiful to have that. So I know you're going to. I mean, obviously you're here having this conversation. So God's got something in mind for you and just keep and like I said, obviously you've done it before too, so you kind of are prepared. And this is why I love life coaching because we are like so set up for success in the way that we see things. Like you saying, change that perspective of being like, okay, I could easily be a victim in this. I could easily let this ruin every experience going forward, but instead I realize something's here for me. What are you trying to teach me? How am I supposed to grow with this? How is this going to prepare me for other people that I meant to help?
Even in this podcast, we're changing the
Yeah.
way people look at things.
Yeah.
If you've got a mom, you don't know what she's going through. And there's lots of people, she just doesn't understand me. Well, when was it last time you had a beer with her, and you just sat down and you had a conversation, Ma, what's going on?
Yeah.
Like my son came to me because I taught him how to do it for one thing, but also ladies that are my age and older, we get isolated. And there isn't as much of a tribe as we used to have when we used to be able to go out, go on vacation, or, do things together with our friends. Find your tribe, build your tribe. If you need ideas on where to go to find people to talk to and connect, that's another thing that I can help you with resources with that. So I'm not only looking at, like, what a horrible word, geriatric, but you know what? I got
No.
one toe in the pool right now.
There.
So if I can help my sisters and that stay connected, even if you don't have family that can help.
Yeah.
How old are you, Mary? Now you're in my tribe now.
Yeah.
I feel like if you've got something that I can go to you for, and a younger generation from I can help you. You, as maybe a young mom, can come to me and say, how did you guys do it back in the 70s?
Yeah. Yeah.
Honestly,
No, I
there's some
actually was
old
just,
fashioned Irish
yeah.
stuff that still works.
Yeah. Well, try so funny because even just visiting with a friend earlier last week, it's like she's a younger mom and she's younger, and it was so it actually felt really honoring that she was like, well, what would you do in a situation like this? And like
See?
just being like, and at the end of the day, I told her, I was like, look, remember, honey, you get to parent how you want to parent. I said, I share a little bit of like what I've done or whatever, but at the end of the day, do what feels good for you and feels right for your family, because that's the beautiful gift that we have, is that we get to decide. We don't have to do it like this person did it or how that person did it or how our family taught us. We get to choose what feels good, and that's why I'm really what love working with moms on honoring themselves, and first of all connecting with who they truly are, because I think that's the problem I see, is that too many people are just so lost in sauce of busyness and life and all the things that you don't even know who you truly are, who you want to be, or what you want to do in life, and therefore it's like you just live on autopilot. And I just want
You,
moms to be more aware and more connected. And
we don't have that old woman in the cave anymore.
yeah,
I'm looking at it as somebody that's almost 68 years old, that
yeah,
we've got 3 generations of poor parenting. I mean, there's stars that shine. There's always that other side of the bell
yes,
curve, but we don't have women who have had examples of good parenting. So
yeah,
if the moms want to reach out to me as maybe an example of the old woman in the cave or somebody that's got experience,
yeah,
I I know this modern age of children. I know old fashioned children. Like, my kids are in their 40s, right? Well, the youngest isn't yet. He's on his
yeah,
way, but
yeah.
they were saying, do you know that I'm looked at as old fashioned because I'm before the internet? I said, yeah, welcome to the tribe, babe. Come on.
Yes. For me, I'm like, I tell me and my husband, we're 80. So like I was born in 87. So
Yes.
I actually, my birthday was at the time of this recording, my birthday was just this past Saturday. So I just turned 39, and I'm coming into the end of my 30s. This will be my final year in my 30s. And I'm like really grateful because we were talking about like, we got to have the fun of playing outside and not coming home till it's dark, to then getting introduced to video game consoles and the internet and all those things. Like I remember we were talking about the CDs. Like I'll never forget when CDs first came out. Like Spice Girls, Spice World was my first CD, but just like we've gotten to evolve in such a way that is really neat, that a lot of the kids today's, they'll never know
Stuff
the
that I'm
struggles.
talking about, like when you talk about knowing the pedagogy of your own child, go
Hmm.
take a parenting class, go take a kid class.
Yeah.
If you listen to Jordan Peterson,
Oh,
he's a
love
professor out of, don't you love him?
love Jordan Peterson.
It's
Mhm.
overdiagnosed.
Yeah.
ADHD in boys, especially, is overdiagnosed. And first of all, I'm so glad that they're taking food dyes out, because boys, especially, cannot process blue food dye. Food dyes hit boys differently than girls, but boys, and I have 3 of them.
Yeah.
My boys were born in 82, 84, and 92. So
Okay.
that's my age group, right? For my kids, it was always get them outside. Even
Mhm.
Jordan Peterson says, run them till they can't run anymore. Let them play outside. Give them
Mhm.
things to take apart.
Yeah.
Have them active until they drop, and you won't
Mhm.
have ADHD. But we've
Mhm.
got classrooms now where they take away recess, and
Oh yeah.
and even when you go out on recess, there's a bunch of rules that you're not supposed to do. God forbid you should fall down. You learn to get back up again.
Yeah.
I'm from the family is like,
Mhm.
Get outside.
Mm-hmm.
Don't slam the screen door. There was one time, here's what I did. I ran them to pieces, but I didn't know Jordan Peterson. We didn't have internet, right?
Yeah.
They were just driving me knucking futs at this point. I had a jar of nickels, a quart jar of nickels. I don't know where I collected those. Probably went to the bank because I had the good idea. Stuck it on the front porch. And I said, every time you run around the front porch, you can take a nickel out.
I
There
bet
for
they were.
like a half an hour. Came in exactly off, just exhausted and had enough money saved. And they could walk into this little town. We lived in a very small town. Take the nickels, walk into town and go buy something at the little store for candies or something. Right. So they get a reward. I get some peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Run your kids to death. And even in a classroom, when I'm teaching reading, boys roll around. I didn't care where the kids read. They didn't have to read at a desk. They could roll around on the floor. Girls will tuck into with each other and they'll read forever. Boys, they're laying on their backs. They're rolling over. They're walking around with their books because being mobile for boys is better learning things. So you learn about your kids was my point of view.
I love that.
Learn about those milestones. Don't expect your kid to drive a car at 7 years old. Don't, that was an example, but like the knowledge that a grown-up has, start thinking like that 6-year-old again. They can't put that together. So
I love that.
my daughter-in-law has a degree in child development, so we do a lot of social experiments on my grandson.
I bet. Oh, that's all. Actually, that's pretty cool because I have a 4-year-old. He's about to be 5 in June, and I do admire that. Like I have a fenced-in backyard. It's so great to see him and the dog go outside and play. He loves bugs. He reminds me of me when I was a kid. Like I used to always be up in the creeks, climbing trees, doing all the things. And so it's like it's so great to see that even though we live in a time where he does have a tablet, but he will choose to not be on that tablet. He loves to play with magnetic blocks. He loves building stuff. He loves
Magnetiles. I'm so obsessed with Magnetiles.
Me too. Oh my God, he is so obsessed with those. Like that's all I need to get him. I swear he'll spend hours because he's obsessed with water towers right now and the demolitions and all that. It's like he's always like, "Mommy, look at my tower, look at my tower." So, it's wonderful to see. And I have a daughter who's a little different. I could tell she's a little bit more into the electronics. But she'll get outside and play. And I like to see that. She's a water girl. She loves the water activities. And then it was so neat actually earlier just today. They had a senior walk off at their elementary school and my son's a senior. So I have a senior as well. And I literally got to take a picture of all 3 of my kids under the same roof at a school, one in pre-K, one in first grade, and one's a senior. It was so I was so emotional. Like it was the most beautiful thing. Like that's such a rarity. I mean, first of all, that I even have an 18-year-old son, it blows my mind still, but to have them all under the same roof of the school that he went to, the elementary school, and now I have 2 more there. Oh,
You're
I'm
going
just
to
so
turn
grateful.
around and those moments will be gone.
I know,
you
I
know
know. And
and
that's
now
what
you're going to
I'm
be
so grateful.
watching them as parents and you're just crossing your fingers that you gave them a good example.
Yep.
And what's something you said and and I said as well, sorry, talk too much. Play with your kids. It's your opportunity now to be a 6-year-old again.
Yeah.
And they're not going to remember whether you played catch with them out in the backyard every day. But they will remember those 15, 20 minutes at a time that you do give them. Remember when we were out in the backyard and we were looking at bugs, Mom, it's not the looking at bugs in the magnifying glass. It's the fact that he did it with you.
Yeah.
Those are the things. That's why my kids are coming to me now and watching me with the grandbaby playing again. And that, I remember how to play.
Yeah.
Play with your kids. It's a good chance. Good self-care, actually.
It is. I mean, you're right. Like, and getting on their levels again, like that it kind of takes you back to remind you that, you used to be I was so confident, courageous, and just like had all these big dreams as a kid. Like I miss that version of myself to a point, and I'm actually really working
Who gave that to you?
Reconnect with her, like
Who gave that to you though? That freedom to be you. Who gave that to you? Exactly.
Yep. My mom. My mom is my best friend. I
Find somebody to
love
be your
her.
mom.
Yes.
Find somebody to be your woman role model.
Yeah.
Somebody you trust and you want to emulate. You can have 16 and I got a sister-in-law that did this, and I don't think she's ever going to see this podcast. But she had like 16 books on the shelf of parenting books. Every one of them contradicted each other.
Mm-hmm.
Learn from somebody that's been doing it.
Yeah.
Go to they say the only barber in town has the worst haircut, right? Go to a guy that gives good haircuts and
Yeah.
learn.
Yeah.
I
That's what
speak
you.
in metaphors because that's the
Oh,
best way people learn, but
it is.
I can get really excited about this if I
Mhm.
can. It sounds cliche to say if I can change one family
Mm.
to look at it differently.
Yeah.
You know, your kid didn't choose to be there. You made a choice that he was there. You were there first,
Yeah,
and you can
that's
set up the
true.
rules and the boundaries. And if your child is acting up, it's because they don't have firm boundaries. They want to know in that instance, how far can I push this? You don't
Mm-hmm.
have to ever get angry. I never get angry, and I can teach you how to do it. It's a lot of fun because you
Mm-hmm.
put it back on the kid. No, I'm sorry. I
Yeah.
said, no, you're not supposed to touch that.
Yeah.
My words are coming back at me because I say to my grandson, is that yours? No. I said, who's that? That's Nanny's. I said, then what do you do? I got to ask. I said, okay,
Yeah.
sometimes you get a yes and sometimes you get a no,
Yeah.
but you got to ask because that's not yours. He went to school. No, he said to his mother. His mother said, come here, I got you to do something. He's 3, mind you. I got to remember, he's 3 going on 35. And she says, come here, I need you to help me unload the dishwasher. No. He says, excuse me, sir. He said, well, sometimes you get a yes and sometimes you get a no.
Actually, oh my God.
Got him wet
I,
willy. He
yeah.
gave his teacher a wet
Oh,
willy.
oh
He
my
gave one
goodness.
back to him. So
Wow. I
it
love it.
gives him a sense of humor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we give him a different way. Oh, it's just, I get
It's
to
beautiful.
parent all over again
Mm-hmm.
without I guess I get the more fun parts of it.
Yeah,
I still
that's what
have
I
to
hear.
be the nanny, and it's like if he
Mm-hmm.
gets out of bed when he's not supposed to, I get my stern voice on, but I
Yep.
never get angry.
Oh yeah.
You
I
don't have
well,
to get angry.
I see it with my mom and her grandkids. We call her Gma, and like even like they're so awesome at her the way when they're with her, like the way they behave, they're so good about. I mean, which I always teach my kids, like clean up after yourself, do things like that. So it's so nice to see her having fun with them, but also being like, oh, you made a mess. Here's a vacuum. Go clean it up.
That's right.
Gma likes a clean home. Like that's just how it is. And they have the structure of how they do things, but they also have so much fun. We were playing with the balloon and just hitting that around and being silly. And it's like, you're right. And I know for her, she loves it because she always talks about how, like, I wish I known this and that with you and your sister. And I'm like,
Right?
Mom, don't beat yourself up. You knew what you knew and you did the best you could and you loved us regardless.
That's
And
right.
I said, and I think we turned out pretty damn good, regardless of like the hardship that we had to face. But that's part of my journey. I had to go through that
That's
in order
right.
to become who I am today. And I'm okay with that because I can appreciate it for that instead of living in this victim mentality that I once was stuck in
And
for a long time. Yeah.
take away from your mom the
Yeah.
good things that
Yes.
she did as parenting.
Oh
Because
yeah.
again, she's never had a 4-year-old before.
Yeah.
She's learning by the way her examples were, and we didn't
Oh,
have internet. So
Lord knows
maybe
for that.
she didn't have total
Mm-mm.
perfect parenting example.
Yeah.
I remember distinctly thinking, I I spanked him, right? And I only use spanking for like horrible, horrible things like lying, or I told you not to go to the street and you go in the street and it's not a beating, it's a spank. I popped the butt, right? There's a difference for people. You got to know the
There's
difference.
differences. Yeah.
But then there was that moment when I thought, I really don't have to do this.
Hmm.
And I was more of a super nanny kind of a thing before super nanny came along. And
Hmm.
so I noticed what my mother did that I was uncomfortable with. And I thought there's got to be a different way. So
Hmm.
I honed my parenting skills.
Love
I
that.
kept the good stuff that they gave me, both my mom and my dad.
Hmm.
And I learned new things that now I can pass on to parenting, which is, I told you about
Yeah.
Love and Logic. If you don't get it from me, go to loveandlogic.com or whatever.
Yeah.
And they have wonderful, fun parenting classes on there. I teach it as well, but
Yeah.
it's so simple.
Yeah.
Just, you never have to
Just,
argue with your kid again. I don't
oh, I
care
love
how
that.
old he is. You don't.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Give us like a little tidbit, like little something small that you
All right, this
found
is
through that you
Love
love.
and Logic. The
Hmm.
first lesson, we give a half an hour lesson for you
Hmm.
to practice these things for
Hmm.
6 weeks. By the 6th week, it's you got your household back. You
Wow.
never have to argue.
Hmm.
So you say, okay, I need your room cleaned up
Hmm.
before we go we're going to go out to eat. So your room needs to, so do you understand what I say? I'm going to have my room clean before I go out. I said, good. Then don't say anything. And then if the room is not clean and you're going out to eat, I'm saying, and if he's old enough to stay home, right? Then you could say, I'm sorry, your room isn't clean. And that was the rules. And what do you mean? I can still clean it up when I get home. And it's like, oh, you learn to go brain dead.
Yes.
There's no arguing. I
Yeah.
know, I see how you feel, but what did I say? Gosh, I can hear you that you're really angry about this, but what did I say? And so they run out of fuel. If you're not giving them anything to argue with,
Yeah.
you learn your pat answer. And mine, I think mine with the boys was, oh, probably so. I hate this. This sucks. It's not fair. Probably so. Probably so. And afterward, then it comes back on you because sometimes you forget yourself and maybe you raise your voice. And then your kid looks at you and says, I can see that upsets you. Probably so. You know? And you get your sense of humor back
Yeah.
with it.
Yep.
There's a way that you can take back your control. I don't care how many kids you have.
Yeah.
They can be responsible for their own actions and their own feelings. And we can teach them. I guess the big term nowadays is big feelings. I have big feelings. Yeah, you can deal with your big feelings in your room. Like I think Finley, that's my grandson, Finn. He stomped his feet. Three big feelings. I said, oh man, that was loud. Can you do that over there? I go over there. And when you're all done, come on back and let's talk about it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No, I can't hear the TV. You got to go over there. So he did. He went over to the stoop is where he can go and collect himself.
Yeah.
And I hear him. It's still loud. And then it's quiet. Nanny, I'm done. I said, come on over. I said, that was, whoa, you were really angry, huh? How about you don't do that? And then you just hug it out and you never have to get angry is my point. I don't want you to, I want them to see you as a safe space because it's scary for them to be that angry and out of control.
Exactly.
So
well, I mean, we have to remember like they're just learning. They're just now experiencing these emotions. They don't comprehend it like we do.
Nope.
We've been there, done that. So it's like we have to sometimes like remind ourselves like they have a completely different lens, and just like we all have our own different lenses. And it's like we have to honor that for them because they need to not. This is how a lot of us women, I feel like, we're taught to suppress our feelings, and even boys. We were taught,
but
quit
at our
crying,
age, we're
quit
supposed to
crying.
have
You know,
we're
it's like,
supposed to have coping skills. They are a blank slate. We're teaching them how to cope. And if we don't know how to do that, we're not setting a very good example.
Exactly. Because they're
And
always watching
also
us.
don't suffer in silence. If they learn from you that you're not going to talk about this, but they feel that energy that something's off and you're not talking, then okay, that's how we do it. We don't talk about those things. But we have to create safe space within our tribe of women that we can talk about stuff. My friend Lisa called the other day and all I did was bitch. It was she gave me that safe space. I'm not fixing anything, but I got to let off a little steam.
Yes,
And our kids have to learn the same way that it's okay. And it's okay to be angry. You can have your feelings. Don't take it out on you can't hurt other people. So we have to teach them that thing. And if I can teach young moms, especially who didn't have a good example of how to do that, gosh, I'm the old woman in the cave. Come and talk.
Yeah, and I love it because one of the things I shared earlier in another episode is like just with my daughter, even like I had this conversation with her that I was really proud of afterwards, of letting her understand, because I always teach my kids about consequences, that there are good consequences and bad consequences to every decision you make. And I was like, listen, you're going to get angry, you're going to get mad, you're going to get disappointed, you're going to feel all these different things, but you have the power to decide how you respond to it. I said, that's the beauty of it.
Exactly it.
It's like you can feel all the feelings, but you get to decide how you respond. And that is what will determine whether you continue to suffer or and have worse consequences, or maybe that you can shift it and go with the flow and things will just be fine. And you'll see that and you'll be able to work through it and move past it healthy.
You're such a good mama.
I love it. But I'm so proud to even be in a place where I'm aware of that, and that's why I'm so passionate about this journey and about how sharing this message with moms, because there is a great, beautiful way that we can honor who we are, honor how we want to parent, and learn from other people of like, hey,
Yeah.
I used to, I mean, I'm guilty of it with, especially with my firstborn. I mean, when I was a kid myself, raising a kid, where I would get short and snappy and whatever, and I caught things that were generational conditioning I had no idea about. So it wasn't until I started building awareness in myself, working on the self-love, working on learning and understanding the psychology even of how children are affected between the ages of 0 to 7 and all that imprinting.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. You
Woo!
learned about the pedagogy of your
Yes.
own kid.
I was like, oh, no, no, I can do this differently. I get to do it differently. Oh, man, that's cool. And then from there, it has been life changing, allowing myself to be open to this new knowledge, to not just be open to it, not just learn these things, but to implement it. That's the
Yes.
thing that so many of us struggle with. It's like we know we want these things, we know we need to be doing like things that are healthy or whatever, but actually executing it and staying on track, that's where the struggle is
That's
for so
exactly
many.
it. And Mary, I know their frustration with new moms
Yes.
because there are 16 books on how to get a
Yeah.
kid through teething. You know,
Mhm.
there's too much. It's like option anxiety. But if you
Oh,
talk to somebody, just
yeah.
pick one thing that works.
Hmm.
And just because it worked for your first kid doesn't mean it's going to work for your third kid. You got to go and
Yeah.
talk again.
Yep.
And I love the way that you're talking to your children. There is a way that you can talk to them as little adults
Hmm.
in a way that you expect them to understand, and they rise to that occasion. Here's another thing that you can say: are you reacting or are you responding?
Hmm. Hmm.
Reacting is no thought. I'm just like, I'm
Yeah.
so mad. But
Mhm.
responding means you took a breath and said, okay, what's the best way for me? You have a plan. Reacting doesn't have a plan, but responding does.
Yeah.
So with little ones, when maybe they just, they stomp their feet and do that thing, you can say, man, and that also, that answer calms you down.
Mhm.
Are you reacting or are you responding?
I love
It's
that.
kind of a question for the kid, but it's also a question for you.
Yes, yeah, and you're helping them build that awareness because you're calling it out too. Because instead of
Yep.
just letting them react, and then that's just part of another pattern habit that they're establishing. I mean, and they're, I mean, like I said, again, I get it, you guys. It's such a complex parenting. I mean, parenting, am I
It's so
right?
beautiful.
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
doing the most important
Parenting.
work on the planet is to raise
Yes.
human beings,
Oh, raise
to be
good
good
ones.
human
Yes.
beings. That's an awesome task, but it's also overwhelming and why we're not supposed to do it by ourselves.
Yes, exactly. And also, like I said, be understand the importance of you first because that is the example that that will set in
Right.
most of anything is what you role model to them, whether you
And you
like
can't
it or
pour
not.
from an empty cup, can you?
Exactly. Yes. And again, it's empowering for them to see you and to learn, oh, mommy's setting boundaries. Mommy's taking care of herself. Mommy's drinking water. I mean, I love it. Even both of my young kids, the teachers have rage on them because when they were asked in school, well, why do we drink water? She's like, well, most kids are always like, oh, just to drink it, just to drink it. But my kids always answer because to get hydrated. And I love that because I'm like, that's so proud. But
Three
I'm
syllable word.
so
Oh my
I
gosh.
know, yes, but it is. I mean, even my son in pre-K was like to be hydrated because that's I push that all the time. Y'all drink water. You got to stay hydrated. You got to stay hydrated. Like I want to incorporate those things in them to understand why they're doing. I don't want them to think they're just drinking water just to drink it. Like I want them to understand how
I'm
important it is
sure
for
you
their
sat
bodies.
down. I'm sure you sat down and what is hydration? It
Yes.
means that we're like a sponge.
Yes.
And yeah,
Hmm.
so
I tell them
they
that your body
understand.
is made up a lot of water and you have to replenish that to stay healthy, to feel
That's it.
good and energized. Like, oh, I love it. I do. It's so nice to be able to have these, like, again, I know they're young, but it's imprinting in their subconscious mind too more
They're
than we realize.
smart.
Mhm. They're very smart. Oh my gosh, they are.
They're
They
as smart as you allow them to be.
yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And I like
One
you're
thing I
right. School I feel like it's all about like the factory like it's like you have to
yeah,
be
don't get me
still.
started. That's a
I
whole
know,
nother
right? It's a whole no,
podcast.
yeah, I know, right? I know. And so it's like for me, I try to encourage that at home. The
Yeah.
creativity, them just doing different things. Like I love to see them painting, coloring, drawing, whatever that's outside of just sitting on a tablet. Because I don't get me wrong, I
Get
get
them.
it. That's in today's world too, and I kind of honor that because I don't want them to ever I want them to advance in that way as well because that is the future, but there's a limit to
Healthy
yeah,
balance. There's a
exactly.
healthy
Healthy
balance in all
balance
things,
in all things.
right?
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
we're musicians in my family. I was a bandsman in the Marine Corps. So my kids were raised with music, and now my grandson's getting up to that age. He's got a little drum set that we tolerate it because it's music
Yes.
in our family. But if you can get your kids into music,
Hmm.
I used to be a kinder music teacher,
Hmm.
and that's from newborns all the way up to age 7. The
Yeah.
first part is where the mommies get to experience it
Yeah.
and take lessons home and learn colors and stuff with music. But to get them into music lights up parts of the brain
Mhm.
that helps them learn at school.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Look up the Mozart effect if you have
Yes, I
to.
was actually going to say when they were babies, we would always play classical music in the background when they would sleep because I've heard that that's really good. But my son, my oldest, he is done marching band, and I'm so proud of him because he self-taught himself everything, how to play the piano, how to do the snare drum. He was so
Oh
determined to
man.
learn the snare drum, and I'm telling you, that boy rocks at snare drum. It's amazing to see how much he's grown. But yeah, he got all the way to being in the honors. Like he's done it all, and he loves it. And so to see how it impacted his experience too, the
Yeah.
friends he made. He got to go to Hawaii one year. I
Well, his
mean, it's like,
confidence level is through the
oh,
roof.
yes, yes. And he is awesome. And so
I
you're
bet there
right.
was a couple times you had to
Yeah.
knock him down a couple
Yeah.
pegs, like, whoa,
I'm like, please
excuse me.
visit. Yeah.
That's a little overconfident
Yeah.
right there. I'm just saying.
I love it though. I love him. He's such a person. I mean, even at his age, he will still hug me and kiss me and tell me he loves me.
Yep.
He's a good. He's a good man. Oh, speaking of.
You sound like a good mama. You're doing real good. Is that him?
Yeah, he just stopped by for a little bit. They're having a fun senior day, so they're getting to kind of like
Excellent.
after going to their elementary schools, have some fun together. So he just stopped by for a second. But yes, it. I like I said, I'm grateful to be on this journey and to be able to have these conversations because I want moms to feel confident in themselves and also know that hey, it's all about like you say your kids are going to have different personalities, different things, some are
Yep.
easier than others, and that's okay. But it's about, finding your way, what works for you,
But
what
you
doesn't.
don't have to do it by yourself.
Thank you. Please say exactly. Can you hear that, you guys? Again, don't be afraid. That's why,
Don't.
we do what we do because we want to be that support for you so that you can find your way in a healthy way and in a way that doesn't keep you feeling stuck and
And it's
alone.
hard to say it, but the best moms
Hmm.
have a great support system
Yeah.
behind them.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree.
Arrange play dates where you dump your kids off so that you can go off and have a glass of wine with your girlfriends. And then it's your
Hmm.
turn
Oh,
to
yeah.
like a mom's play day or whatever you want to. There's ways that you can do that so that you can support your tribe.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. Won't be long before I'm hosting retreats too for moms where we can get that reset. Let's say do a recharge, kind of
Be on
experience
that
and
list. I
truly
want to help
reset.
with that.
There you go. I'm putting it out there in the universe. God will work it out. I look forward to when that time comes. So yeah, again, this is what it's all about. It's whew, gosh, showing up for ourselves, showing up for our kids, showing up for what we're meant for. And we don't always have the answers. Like right now, you're in a situation that's like you could easily be completely bombarded by it.
And I
You
got
could
to do the work on
spiral.
myself.
Yeah.
Now, I sat down here and and I said the same thing. Am I reacting or am I responding? Well, I was reacting. I'm having a big tantrum because I don't want to have to do this again. That's not helping anything and it's wasting time. So,
Hmm.
all right, how am I going to respond to this? And you just get yourself in a different mindset. Who are the
Hmm.
people I can lean on? Kind of thrown in my face with my son yesterday saying,
Yeah.
you're doing this, mom.
Yeah.
So,
Embrace it.
yeah, if I can throw my phone number out there. I don't know how the ladies out
Yes.
there get in touch with me.
Hmm.
I have Facebook pages that they can go
Yes.
after facebook.com/. It's Free Spirit Energy Healing.
Hmm.
It's all one word, Free
Love
Spirit
that.
Energy Healing. And then my music page is Kinder Music with a K. It's German. Kinder Music with Miss Erin. It's a holdover from when I was a Kinder Music teacher, but I have lots of good music things and a lot of nice, healthy living and thinking things. A lot of times those cross over. Music is very healing and
Yes.
frequencies and that sort of thing.
Yes.
And my phone number is my work number, 864-747-9946. If
Awesome.
you're overwhelmed and you think like there's no answer to this problem, there's always an answer. There's always
Yes.
somebody that knows
Yeah.
somebody. And that's the thing with new moms, especially. You don't know what to ask if you don't know what to ask.
Hmm. That's
They're
true.
in a whole new field right now.
That's true. That's true. And that's why don't be afraid to lean in. It's like back
Mhm.
in school when you're afraid to raise your hand, ask a question because you're afraid to look stupid. Like, don't let's change that narrative because I think
There's no
that's
stupid questions.
brave. Thank you. It's so brave and courageous when you're willing to go out there and just figure it out. Find your
Yeah.
way, because that's what it's all about. And the more you allow yourself to get support, get surrounded by the right people, be vulnerable. Just be vulnerable. I mean, come on, no one has a perfect map or whatever. I think that would be so boring and generic anyways. Like that's just
Yeah.
cool. It's like let's find a way to really embrace the journey that's meant for you. And let's
Yeah.
find it in the best way possible so that you and your kids can like rise to any occasion because all
Yeah.
the challenges are waiting too. Like I love what someone said. Kathy Heller was talking once about how if God wants you to be John, he'll send a Goliath,
Yeah.
So it's like, and I said that right? Because that is John and
If
Goliath.
do you want to be David, then he'll
David,
send you a
David, damn it.
Goliath.
I knew it. I was like, I'm going to say the wrong name. I do see. There you go. David.
I
If you
got
want to
you.
be a
I
David,
knew it.
he'll send you Goliath. Oh my gosh. I love it. See, I'm so bad when it comes to Bible. But, but
Oh,
yes.
there's just so I know you've only got
Yes.
a half an hour for this and we're
Mhm.
cramming so much
Oh,
information
no.
in, and you're so easy to talk to, and that's
Oh,
why when I get excited, unfortunately, and I have to apologize that I kind of talked over you,
no.
but it was like, yes, I got blah, 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 so
That's just
if I can
exciting.
pass on one other thing, and I helped this other mom, and she has just blown this website up. It's a Facebook website, but it's called Die Free Eating for Kids.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And it's all
yeah.
about how to, when you're used to just going to the store and buying stuff, and now you got to read the labels, and now you're not putting food dyes into your kids. Um, I didn't even know how much time we have left, but she came to me just crying, just showing an example that just because it worked for the first kid doesn't mean it's going to work for the next one, right? And she has 4 kids, and when I met her, these were 4 kids under the age of 10 when
Mm.
she wasn't supposed to be able to have any kids at all. And
Wow.
we talked about an elimination diet and the immediate reaction. And if anybody wants to call me, I'll tell them that story, but also go on and ask. Luann Deary is the one that runs the page. Ask her about how she figured it out with her kids, and how, yeah, it's a little
Mm.
tedious at first to have to read things, but the food industry now knows. And now with Representative Kennedy
Yeah.
making America healthy again, love it.
Yes.
I love
Yes.
it.
Me too.
Um, it's easier after you get going. The food industry knows that they're not doing well. So they offer
Yeah.
Fruit Loops that are made with chemicals. And now they'll say Fruit Loops that are, dye free. And Aldi, I think, is another store that doesn't do food dyes and food
Oh, real.
additives.
Oh, that's
So,
good. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, that's
yeah,
awesome. That's awesome. And I'm so happy to see that because it is crazy. I've had actually people share stories about that of like
instant
just the
behavior changes.
difference. Yes, the difference. Oh my gosh. So yeah, if you're somebody like me too, like I'm just learning this new information. A lot of people are learning and processing. So like go out there, research, check it out, try it out, test it out, see if that helps
That's
with
it.
certain behavioral changes in your kids. But yeah, it's beautiful to see them finally really taking that seriously. Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much I want to. I'm a teacher at heart. I can teach
Yeah.
you to tie your shoes. I can teach you
Yeah.
good things about foods. I can teach you about anxiety. I just all these things. And like I said, you are very easy to talk to. I want to talk so much about so many things. I hope I get to come back because
I
this
was
was
about
really
to
a
say
lot of
I
fun.
love bringing guests back on. I haven't got a chance to do it with many people, but I trust it because we all evolve and change. And I want to bring you back on, especially like down the road, to share how you did rebuild everything. Because I know you're just
Yeah.
stepping into that, and I think that's going to be a powerful message because I know it's going to all work out amazing for you. So we can come back and have more of a conversation around that. And then yes, there's so much to talk about, and I love that I can create this space for people to talk and that I can make it comfortable because that's my goal. Like I love to talk about things and I love meeting new people. So it's like
Comfortable.
so
Yeah.
much fun, so much fun. And I love to make people feel comfortable in that sense because again, I just want realness. I want this. I love it. It really fills up my
Well,
cup.
when you're at that place, I put retreats together before. When you're ready to
Yeah.
do that, I
Okay.
really want to be a part of it. It could be
Okay.
so much fun.
Okay, awesome. Because you're in South Carolina, I'm in North Carolina, so that would definitely be. Ooh, yes. Okay. Well, that's like I said, we're putting that out there, God. Just work it out.
That's it.
Well, I always open the floor too. Is there any final piece of advice that you would like to leave the listeners today?
Yeah, just what I've kind of harped on the whole thing is to find your tribe, start building like-minded ladies around you. If you're looking for how to parent, then you surround yourself with good parents. And how are they doing it? And you're not gonna like all of it, but you're gonna take bits and pieces for everybody, and then you're gonna learn your own way. And then the other thing is to be consistent with your discipline. And discipline doesn't mean you have to be angry. It just means setting those firm boundaries. Little people act out when they don't know where that boundary is. Big kids act out when they don't know where the boundary is. But set firm boundaries and be very matter of fact about it. This is how we do things in our family.
Mhm.
You know, be consistent. 7 P's. I come from a military family. You know what 7 P's are?
Tell us, please.
Proper prior planning prevents piss poor performance.
Love it. Oh my
Right?
gosh, that's awesome.
Think
Yes.
ahead, right?
Exactly. That's what it's all about. I love it. Erin, oh yes, I could talk to you all day long, and I'm so grateful that we met. And I just want to wish you truly all the best as you walk into this next season of your life, because I think that that was that meant for that year of shedding with the snake. It's like now a lot of people are stepping into this new one, and I think it looks scary, it feels scary, it can seem really like what's happening, but at the same time, I feel like with your attitude and your perspective and the mindset that you already have, you're gonna show up headstrong and you're gonna
Yeah, it
come
ain't my first rodeo.
exactly. And I love that because
It's a
so many
good thing
people
I
need
was
to
a
hear that.
Marine.
There
I'll
you
Marine
go.
up and get it done, right?
Exactly. It prepared you. It prepared you. So you
Yeah.
got this. And I just want to thank you so much for everything you shared and for being here with us today.
If I can be part of somebody's tribe, just give me a call. I don't know if they can go back and get the phone number you posted someplace.
I can put
I
in
would
show
love that.
notes.
And I really think that this whole platform that you've allowed me is part of God's plan. And it's maybe an impetus where I can be able to talk to more ladies and be helpful. That's it. Yeah, it's nice to have the money to keep the lights on. But more importantly for me is if I'm sitting here, I'm not helping people. And if I can make a difference and if somebody at the end of an hour goes, oh my gosh, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I
Thank you,
love it.
honey. Thank you so much for this.
You're so welcome.
I'm
Thank you.
blessed.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe below, follow along, and always leave a comment. Tell me what was your favorite takeaway. What are some things that are coming up for you through these conversations? I really love to hear from my listeners and know that I'm always here for you. If anyone listening is ready to take action and really follow through and implement the goals that you set out for, as well as work on that mindset and really step into your full potential and the CEO of your life, then I invite you, schedule your free 1 hour limitless mom strategy call with me while they're available. And let's explore where you are, where you want to be, and how we can bridge that gap together. I can't thank you all enough for tuning in each week. Always remember, until next time, keep rising, keep shining, and keep believing in everything that is available for you, mama. You are worthy, you deserve it, and I'm so grateful to be walking this journey alongside you. Much love.